You have everything you were told to want. You've done the right things, checked the boxes, played the part. From the outside, you're fine, stable, normal, maybe even successful. But inside, there's a quiet ache, a kind of emptiness that no one else seems to notice, and you don't know how to explain. It's not depression exactly, it's not dramatic, it's more subtle, like a question you don't know how to ask, a weight that has no name, a sense that somehow something is off, not in the world but in you. And you've tried to fix it, more productivity, more distraction, more goals. But no matter how fast you run, the emptiness keeps catching up. So what if the problem isn't that you're broken, but that you've been living in a story that doesn't belong to you? We are in many ways the most connected generation in history, and yet we're starving for meaning. We drown in entertainment, self-help, and mindfulness apps. We chase wellness, optimize routines, curate aesthetics, all while silently asking, what is the point of all this? Psychologists call it existential vacuum, a condition Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, witnessed in countless people, especially those who were free but still felt lost. He wrote, "When a person can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure." Sound familiar? You scroll, you work, you buy things. You build a life on motion and noise because silence would force you to face the question you've been avoiding. Who am I? When there's nothing left to perform. From a young age, you were handed a script. Go to school, be agreeable, achieve things. Don't question too much. Fit in. And if you follow the script well enough, they promise you'll be happy. But what they don't tell you is this. The script wasn't written for your soul. It was written for society's convenience. Plato warned us of this in the allegory of the cave. We're taught to see only what others see, to confuse shadows for reality. If you dare to turn around, to look beyond the illusion, you're not just seen as strange, you're seen as dangerous. Because a person who no longer believes the script can't be controlled. And that's exactly what you're feeling now, the uncomfortable pull of awakening. Nietzsche didn't just talk about the death of God, he talked about the death of meaning structures. When the old truths collapse, we don't feel free, we feel lost. You're not crazy for feeling disoriented. You're not weak for feeling numb. You're simply standing on the edge of a life that no longer fits, but haven't yet built the one that does. Nietzsche called this the abyss, the moment where the familiar breaks and you're forced to face what lies underneath. It's terrifying, but it's also sacred, because what dies in the abyss is not your true self, but the false identities you've outgrown. And what is born, if you're willing to stay with the discomfort, is something no system or algorithm can fabricate: clarity. Let's be clear, you're not empty, you're full of unprocessed emotions, full of forgotten dreams, full of unmet needs you learned to bury because expressing them was inconvenient. So now your inner world is cluttered, but instead of facing that, we numb. Beneath addiction, overwork, and perfectionism is one core emotion: avoidance. You avoid the grief of the person you had to become to survive. You avoid the rage you weren't allowed to express. You avoid the truth that your life might be built on silent compromises. But avoidance is not peace. It's a slow bleed. It erodes your joy, your passion, your presence, until all that's left is the mask. The real you is in there, but it's suffocating. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." He wasn't being cynical, he was being honest. In society, we're taught to manage perceptions, to become what others find acceptable, to say the right things, wear the right face, play the role. But the more we curate who we are, the more distant we become from ourselves. Eventually, you're not lying to others, you're lying to yourself, smiling while you're starving, performing while you're crumbling. This isn't just exhausting, it's soul-splitting. And that fracture becomes the source of the emptiness you feel now. You don't need to find yourself, you need to stop abandoning yourself. Bonhoeffer warned that silence in the face of evil is itself evil. But what if the evil isn't out there, but the silent betrayal of your own voice? You know when something doesn't feel right. You know when you're pretending. You know when you're numbing out, drifting, shrinking. But knowing isn't enough. There comes a point when you must choose comfort or integrity, numbness or truth, safety or aliveness. You don't need to burn your life down, but you do need to wake up. And waking up is brutal, because it demands you feel everything you've tried not to feel. But that's where real freedom lives, on the other side of your resistance. So where do you begin? Not with a plan, not with a 5-step routine. Begin with honesty. Sit in silence, not to escape, but to listen. Ask yourself, what part of me have I silenced to be accepted? What dream did I abandon because I was afraid to fail? What would I do if I wasn't afraid of being seen? Write, reflect, be still. And when the old narratives rise up, you're not enough, it's too late. Don't argue with them. Just recognize they were never yours. You don't have to become someone new. You just have to stop being who you're not. That emptiness you feel isn't a flaw. It's a signal, a sacred ache, a message from the soul you've ignored for too long. It's not asking for success. It's not asking for validation. It's asking for you, fully present, fully honest, fully alive. No one else can walk this path for you. There is no algorithm for awakening. There is no shortcut to meaning. But there is this moment, this breath, this choice, to stop running, to stop performing, to face the mirror and say, I'm ready to live for real, even if it hurts. And if you are, you won't just escape the emptiness, you'll fill it with something sacred, a life that finally feels like yours. Subscribe to Echo Praxis for ideas that don't just inspire you, but change you.